Hi BookTube, Lynette here, and today's video I'm going to look back at my goals for 2022 and see how I did and set some new ones for 2023. So I have here my always fully booked planner from 2022 where I wrote down my goals for last year. I do have a video that I made and put out. I will link that down below if you want to actually go back and look back at the video instead. But this is what I will be referring to because I haven't quite got the hang of using my camera to film and my laptop to watch, and how to merge all the two together into one video. So this is what I will be referring to. Then towards the end of the video I have my 2023 always fully booked planner where I've written down all my goals for the coming year, and again I will be referring to that to tell you what my goals will be, and we'll see how we go from there. My first goal of the year was to read 48 books in 2022, and I have to say I absolutely smashed that goal. I managed to read 100 books over the whole of the year. I'm really pleased with that, and I will try and insert a clip here of me scrolling through my Storygraph stats to show you that it says 100 books, and obviously scroll through the section where all the book covers are. I had some good reads, I had some okay reads. I don't know that I actually DNF'd any. I DNF'd one of my book club picks this year. Some others I just never even got around to reading. Some books I started and are currently soft DNFs, and I'll go into that a bit later on. And overall I was just really pleased with my reading this year. Over last year wasn't a bad year either. 2021 wasn't a bad year either, but the previous few years obviously I was a little bit off my game as far as my reading was concerned. So I actually well and truly feel like I'm now back into the rhythm of reading and the habit of reading, and reading things that I enjoy as well. That's one thing that I try to maintain on this channel, is that I don't read for content purposes. I read because I enjoy it, and I hope that comes across in my videos. And obviously, I don't have a lot of popular books in my videos, so hopefully it comes across that I'm reading for pleasure and not just because I want my channel to grow. My second goal of the year was to read 30,000 pages over the year, and actually partway through the year when I went back over my goals privately, I didn't do an actual goals review on my video, I just did it privately. I actually split this in two, and I reduced that down to 25,000 pages and 50 hours of audio, because I started picking up audiobooks and I was listening to a lot more audio. And again, I have to say I did really well. So I think I read in excess of 28,000 pages, and I listened to a total of 190 hours of audio, which is absolutely fantastic. I've never been a big audio lover. I really struggle with getting into the habit of listening, but with having increased travel to work this year, I've had what I feel is more time to listen. I don't tend to listen to audiobooks when I'm at home because my phone is normally on charge, and I kind of get fed up of trying to remember to pick up speakers and take them around the house with me, or keep my phone in my pocket. So I'm actually really proud of the fact that not only did I manage to hit my page goal, I actually way exceeded my hours goal as well, and I'm really proud of myself for getting back into audiobooks, and that is definitely something I'm hoping to carry forward into 2023. So the next two goals following on from that were following on from the pages goal, although I initially didn't have an audiobook goal. So the first one was to try and read at least 20 pages every day. Now on average, obviously I have read on average more than 20 pages a day. However, I didn't actually read every single day of the year. There were times when I was doing things. So Christmas Day I didn't read, Christmas Eve I didn't read, Boxing Day I didn't read. Those are just 3 of the days I had things going on. I was out with family, or I was babysitting my sister's kids or my brother's kids. Or I'd get home from work and I was absolutely shattered and just did not have the mental capacity to pick up a book and even read a page. So I definitely didn't read every single day of the year, but on average, yes, it averages out to more than 20 pages a day. And the second one following on from that was to listen to 4 complete audiobooks. Definitely have completed more than 4 audiobooks. I listened to 4 audiobooks over the summer months because I listened to the Faithful and the Fallen series by John Gwynne. But I've listened to, I think I got to double figures in audiobooks. I know I've listened to the first 3 books in a series by Nalini Singh. I listened to a trilogy by Danielle L. Jensen. I listened to The Hobbit. I listened to the 4 books in the Faithful and the Fallen series. So I definitely hit double figures with my audiobooks this year. So I smashed that goal as well. Again, I'm really, really proud of it because it means that I am actually starting to make progress in moving my TBR on the downward scale as well. The next goal I'm going to talk about is my final success of the year, and that is to continue 4 series that I've already started. Now, I kind of set this goal at the beginning of the year and then promptly forgot about it until around about April, May time, when I discovered and started watching quite regularly Steph over at Steph Loves. I picked up her channel and she had started around about March time, I think. She'd started a group called the Final Book Support Group. And I'll try and leave that linked down below. There's a Discord channel, there's an Instagram page, Steph's page, Steph's channel. And that has been part of the motivator for this year to get on with reading series. But also it has actually it's influenced my reading a lot towards the end of the year. Then in the middle of the year, so going into May, June, I discovered another booktuber called, she calls herself Chatty, The Mad Chatter. I will leave her channel link down below. She did a series audit and she inspired me to get on with doing a series audit, and I will definitely leave this video linked down below and maybe in the cards above. I did a series audit and oh my god, was I shocked by what I found. I was just like, I couldn't believe how many series I had on the go. And I had quite a few that were close to being finished as well, which was a real shocker to me. And there were some that I'd never gone back to, some that I'd started when I was in a real romance kick and never really kept up with, because I just consumed so much romance at that time that I quite easily lost track of what I was doing. But yes, because of that, because of the Final Book Support Group, because of the encouragement from Chatty to do the series audit and following my series audit going up, thank you for that. Really, really grateful. I'd listed out my book series, and I concentrated on quite a few, and I think it was somewhere around 109 that I said I had. Bear with me a second, I'll just try and get the exact stat. Okay, so I found my notebook, so excuse me if I'm looking down, but yes, I had 106 books in series in progress. I'm now down to, I'm starting the year with 89 series in progress, which means that I have actually knocked 15 series off of that list. There are a couple of others that I've started, so no, I've actually knocked 14 off, I think, because I can't do the maths. Anyway, I have started a couple of series. I've started and finished 2 series within the year, and I've started another series. So yes, so I think I've actually, since June, I have finished or DNF'd 17 series that were on the list, and added 1 back. So I'm starting the year with 89, which I'm really pleased with. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to continuing, because Steph has, at the point that I'm filming this, we are in the middle of the Final Book Support Group reading weekend. It's the 7th and 8th of January. We're not in December anymore, we're in January, Lynette. So yes, it's the 7th and 8th of January. We're in the middle of the first round of Final Book Support Group readathon for this year, and I'm hoping that I will have knocked a couple more series off the list at that point. But that does mean that I am in continuation station for the rest of 2023, unless I concentrate and on series to one at a time to try and binge them. But yes, I definitely read and continued more than 4 series this year, so really pleased with that. And now I'm going to talk about the fails. I only have 3 more goals to talk about. The first one is to use my planner and Storygraph to their full potential. Not quite. I do use them. I don't really review books, so I didn't use the review sections of either of those much. I did give star ratings around about the middle of the year, just after I moved. I did lose track of writing in my planner for a while, and I had to catch all of that up at the end of summer, which I did, and I've been using it consistently since. Storygraph, I do record my reading every day that I read. I do record what I've read, audio or physical reading. So, you know, I do keep a track of the number of pages and number of hours, which is why I know that I've actually passed those goals for the year. And yeah, that again, you know, I mean, it's something that I'm getting used to. It's something that I'm new to. So the Storygraph 2022 was the first full year that I was using it. So yeah, so I'm hoping that it's going to be habit forming for me, and I'm pleased of what I did do with that, even if I didn't quite use it as much as I could have. The penultimate goal was to try and use my library more. Yeah, I don't use it enough. In some ways I'm too much of a mood reader, and I don't know, I find it more difficult to browse what my library has, because I pick what I want to read next at the point that I'm trying to find a book. Now, if I'm at the end of the working day trying to find a new book to read, I can't go to my library and pick it out. And what I might want to read on that day, yes, I could put a reserve on it so that it's ready for me to pick up at the weekend when I have time to go in there. It might not be what I want to read when I go and pick it up. My mood can shift in the space of a moment. The book I can finish can be romance, and I've absolutely loved it, and I've been so happy in my time with romance. But the follow-on book might be fantasy, because that might be what I'm in the mood for at the point that I pick up the next book. So using my library for me is difficult, and I know I should use it more. I really do know that I should use it more, and I try to. Where there are books planned, so for book clubs, I try to use my library. I am going to try and use it more for audio, because that is slightly more planned, my audio, rather than not. So I will try to use it definitely for audio more. But yes, again, with audio, there's a limit on how long you have them for, and I think you can only renew them once, if you can renew them at all after you've read them, after your time runs out. So if you don't listen to them at the point that you download them, you're screwed. So yes, I have found using my library a challenge. It is something that is ongoing, and I am going to try to use more. But I'm not holding out any hope. And my final goal was the complete and utter failure of the year. And it was to only buy books if they are to continue a series that I'm currently in the middle of. Or if it's free. Yeah, that doesn't happen. Didn't happen at all. I don't know how many books I had on my TBR for the year last year. Yeah, I bought too many books last year, hence why there is a video from middle of November last year, where I say that I am going to aim to read 15 books that I already own before I buy something new, excluding book club picks that I have to buy because I've got no other way to get hold of them, or continuing series that I already have started. I can purchase the next book in the series if I can't get it in any other format, in any other way. So that yeah, that's my goals for last year. That's how I did. Overall, I did pretty well. Out of 8 goals, only 2 of them were actual failures. Well, not failures. I didn't do as well as I'd hoped. Let's put it that way. So I'm actually really quite proud of myself for that, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how I go for 2023. So with that being said, let's talk about the goals I'm setting myself for 2023. So again, this year I have 8 goals that I've set. 3 of them are not reading goals though. I will tell you about them, but they are more personal goals rather than reading goals. Hey, maybe you can hold me accountable. If I put it out there, maybe that will give me the actual oomph to get on with it and get them done. So first goal of 2023 will be the number of books I aim to read this year, and I've decided to up it. So last couple of years I've done 48, thinking, you know, 1 book a month. No, 4 books a month, that is. 4 books a month was quite reasonable. Because I absolutely smashed that goal this year and the previous year, I have increased it slightly. And my aim now is to read 75 books this year. So it's not as high as I have done the last couple of years. It's allowing for kind of like things going on, because there is stuff, you know, what you see on camera, the way I am on camera isn't always the way I am behind the scenes. You know, I have struggles like everyone out there, and there are days when I just don't want to do anything at all. So I think 75 is quite reasonable. It allows me a little bit of leeway. It allows me to read some chunkier books. And it probably means I won't feel quite as pressured towards the end of the year if I haven't made it. So yes, I'm definitely going to try to aim for 75 books this year. And alongside that, I am going to try to read 25,000 pages again. And I've increased my number of hours to 100. Now, I know I almost did double that last year, but I'm not quite sure where my audiobook reading is going. I haven't listened to an audiobook since beginning of November, I think, middle of November. So yes, I need to start picking up the audiobooks again. I've heard some things about Audible that have left quite a nasty taste in my mouth. I suggest you go and watch Daniel Green's video about that if you want to know more about it. Basically, it's Audible's practices, if you haven't already seen anything about it. But yes, it just leaves a bit of a bad taste in my mouth in the way they treat independent authors and small presses. So yeah, so I'm going to try to source my audiobooks more from the library, maybe through Spotify, because I've restarted my Spotify account, and we'll see how we go from there. My next goal is a big one. I'm going to try and read my TBR, my owned TBR. I've done a bit of a TBR audit, and on January the 1st of this year, I had on between my physical and my digital shelves, I had 508 books that I have never read before. Now, I do have more than that, because I do have some books that I previously owned in paperback and hardback that I got rid of years ago, and that I then repurchased in other formats, so either in ebook or audio. In ebook or audio. I've got a couple of physical replacements as well. I haven't counted those in the TBR stats. So the 508 books are completely brand new to me, never read before. I'm not stopping myself from rereading the books I previously owned. Some of those are series in progress, so I'm definitely going to reread those. And some of them are just books that I absolutely loved, and again, I'd love to reread at some point. So I'm not going to stop myself from rereading. But I really would love to bring that 508 figure down. To do that, I am trying to restrict my reading. I said it earlier on in the video. There is a whole video about it from November. Again, try and link it all for you. That is that I'm going to try and read 15 books before I buy one new one. Now, I've got 4 books in January. 1 book in the first week, 1 book in the second week, and 2 in the third week. Now, the book in the first week, like I've said, I've already got that. It's already been read as well. So I'm starting off the year fine, because, you know, I have reduced my, I've not increased my TBR, because yes, I've bought one, but I've also read it, so it hasn't added to that number of 508. The two of the other books are definitely ones that I want to get to as soon as I read them. I also have a pre-order for April, which is probably going to be read as soon as I have it in my hands, because it is an eagerly anticipated book. Other than that, I'm going to try to be intentional about my purchasing. So it's either going to be a book that I really, really want. So one of the books that's on pre-order for January, it's the paperback version of a book. I want the paperback to go with the rest of it, because it continues a series that I'm reading. And I really, really want to read it. So I'm going to try to restrict myself to when I purchase them. So yes, so I'm going to get to 15 books read, and I will be allowed to buy a book or books. I might not immediately, at the point that I've read 15, go to the bookshop or my Kindle and buy a book. I might just keep a tally of how many I've earned. I might not restrict myself at the point that I say, right, I can buy a book now. If there's a couple of books that take my fancy, then I'm going to pick them up. However, if they are ones that I really like the sound of, but I don't think I'm going to read fairly soon after purchasing, I'm going to add them to my wish list and see how I go further down the line in the year. So I'm going to try to be more intentional with everything this year in terms of purchasing books. Hopefully that will make me use my library more. Yeah, that's what I'm going to try to do this year. So I'm going to try and have the number of books that I owned at the start of January to have reduced that throughout the year. Now, like I say, it might have increased at the, I've cut myself and I don't know how. At the end of the year, I will tally up how many books are left from that 508 and how many I've purchased that I haven't read. I'm keeping that list separate. I'm not adding, I have a spreadsheet where I have a list of all the books, unread books that I already own, and I have a list of books that I'm purchasing. And at the end of the year, the two will be combined. And we'll see how I go. And I'll catch you all up later. I might have a look and see how I'm going in the year. I'll think on it. I'll think on it when I need content in June. I have a goal to read one classic this year. Now, this is a bit of a knee-jerk goal. I had a conversation with someone earlier last year, and the words "you aren't a real reader" were used because I don't read classics. I haven't read classics as an adult. I have read classics. I'm going to put that out there. I have read classics. I just haven't read a classic since I was about 10, 11 years old. I was introduced to classics at the stage where the books that were available for my age range weren't enough for me. I needed more content. I needed more detail. I needed more information. I needed more from the books that I was reading. And when I was 8, 9, 10, there weren't the distinction between children, middle grade, young adult that it really is now. So it was a struggle for everyone around me to find books. The school didn't have books in their library that were challenging enough for me. And I'm going off on a complete tangent now, I know that. But and so I was introduced to classics. I was given Dickens. I was given E. Nesbit. I was given what Katie. So I read What Katie Did. What Katie Did Next. I read The Children of the New Forest. I read Little Women by Louisa M. Alcott. I've read classics. Okay. I just don't read them as an adult because for me they're not my thing. not everybody likes the same thing. So if you're someone out there who thinks that real reading is someone who's reads a wide variety, get off your high horse is my message. And I'm going off and around here, and I don't know if I'm going to leave this in, but yeah, please don't call someone, please don't tell someone they're not a real reader if they haven't got the same reading experiences as you, because it's not good, it's not nice. But yes, so reading one classic is a goal for this year, and thanks to Jess and Chrissy and all the other ladies, Susanna, Eliza, Angela, all the other ladies at Cozy Book Club, I may hit that goal quite early this year. We have decided to plan our book choices a little bit further in advance from what we normally do, and I can't remember whether it's February or March, but we have a classic. We have an early 1900s book on the TBR for the book club. So thanks, ladies, you might have helped me hit a goal for the year. That's if I read it. You might need to nag me. Keep that in your diaries, please, girls, please. And we'll see how I go. And that brings me to my final book goal for the year, and that is to continue reading the series that I own. So starting the year with 89 series in progress. I have one more series to add. The book is up there somewhere, you can't see it. I've decided to join in with Becca and Cody and Steph and all the other ladies that take part in, I don't know all of their names, that take part in the Catch Up Book Club. This year they've decided to start with the world built by Joe Abercrombie that starts with the First Law trilogy. Now this plays into reading my TBR, because book one, The Blade itself, has been on my TBR for more than 2 years. So that will be another book off of my TBR, owned TBR, so that helps me out. But yes, that is my goal. Like I say, I have my notebook where I've got all my series written down, started and unstarted. I have a spreadsheet where I've listed out all the series that are in progress. As I start new series, those will be added to the spreadsheet, and we'll keep a track of how that goes through the year as well. The spreadsheet will help me. It's slightly more detailed. I did try to use Steph's spreadsheet, but it doesn't work for me in the format that she has it. So I have found another reading log spreadsheet, which is the one that I've used to note down my TBR as well. That is by Ali at Hardback Hoarder. I'll try and leave that link down below for you as well, because it's on her Etsy shop. Yes, that book I'm trying to fill that in, and it keeps a log of the number of series that you've got. It won't keep a log of how many series I've started, so I might have to figure out another way of doing that. But she has multiple options for her series on I'm thinking about that one. But yes, I want to continue reducing the number of series that I have in progress, or at least reduce the number of series, books in a series that I have on my TBR, because I'm going to have a whole other video about that. So yeah, so that's my reading goals. Like I say, I do have 3 other goals that are personal ones for the year. The first one is to walk 10 kilometers every week. Now, on a Sunday morning, I normally go for a 10k walk with one of my oldest and best friends, Tracy. Hi Tracy, if you're watching. When Tracy is not available, I don't go for that walk. Tracy does, I don't. So my aim this year is, when either of us can't do a walk for whatever reason, I'm going to try and fit in 10k. I might not do it in one go. It might be done in bits and pieces, but I'm going to try and walk a minimum of 10k every week. One of the things about using my planner last year is my handwriting is so basic and it can look really scruffy. So I want to try and learn some new handwriting styles and practice them. I've bought some handwriting pens. I've got some books that my mum's given me The calligraphy one, I'm not quite sure. I might have to buy an actual calligraphy pen, which I haven't done, because I'm not sure that the style pens I've got could quite emulate the calligraphy style. What's this, Lynette? Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to try and learn and practice some new handwriting styles. Yes, again, that's probably going to make my planner look a bit of a mess through the year, but you know, I'm trying. And yeah, hopefully when I get next year's planner, I'll have some new handwriting styles and my handwriting will be a bit neater and a bit more decorative. Talking about decorating, I have been in the middle of decorating my hall since I moved into my flat. Pretty much most of the horrible wallpaper has been peeled off. It was a lovely shade of blue. I say that with all sarcasm. I'm hoping to finish peeling the wallpaper, fill the holes that I found, sand them down, sand the walls down, and paint the walls. I want my hallway to be decorated before the end of the year. Yes, that still leaves 2 rooms that are a horrible shade of blue, but come on. Small goals, big deadlines. Let's do it that way round, see how I go. Yes, I want my hallway to be decorated by the end of this year. So let's see how we get on with that. And that's it. That's my goals for 2023. What goals have you set for this year? Have you put out a goals video? Link it down below in the comments for me. I love picking up videos from there. Love chatting to you all there. Do you think I'm going to make any of these goals this year? Do you not think I'm going to make any goals this year? Let me know. I'd love to know about your faith or lack of in me. I don't blame you if you've got lack of faith in me. I have lack of faith in me too sometimes. So let me know what is going on with your goals for the year. If you have enjoyed this video, then please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already and you've enjoyed it, then please subscribe to my channel for more content. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Bye.